could buy coal for a small amount of money. No a bag, you hadn't money enough for a bag, so you got so much to buy. They weighed it like a big scale where you used to put potatoes into, that's how they weighed the coal. And I can remember the man yet, I can see his face yet,
really?
The bonnet on and his wizened face and his white face.
So was it all just the wee bits and pieces that you could get for?
And of course when you hadn't coal, you put briquettes. Lots come out and sell briquettes. They were blocks of damp coal. They lasted a long time, but it didn't give you a good heating. Right. So it was good if you were going out and you wanted to keep the fire going, you put a briquette on.
All right, okay.
And sometimes you had the money for the briquettes, you made your own briquettes with a bag and get dross out the bunker. You know, the bunker where the coal was in the kitchen, where you lived. And you put it in a bag and damped it, put it on. It didn't burn so quick when you do it.
It was just totally different. But fortunately I could adapt, you know, I'd always adapt. But, and then I found difficulties sometimes with I used words that the people, another couple in the other big room had two wee boys, and I can't mind why, but I said to her something, oh, you're wee loony. Well, you see, up in there, in the northeast, you're loonies and quinies, wee boys and wee girls. But she took offence because she thought I meant a lunatic. Well, I couldn't blame her, you know, and I didn't know why. You know, she was ignoring me and that.
And it wasn't a joke doing the fire in the morning, scraping the ashes out, taking them out in the midden.
I would imagine that would have been terrible.
So that was a wee thing, the lane there, and that was called Milton Lane. And here, this facing here was a rag store, and we had a wee club up above it called the Raggy Club, because it was a rag store. And I'm saying to myself, I was down at the Dundasfield the other week to see some friends. They had it all done up with lovely, it's lovely done up. And there was one woman there complaining, and I says, you've got a beautiful club here. It was always the same when I was there. They don't appreciate it. And I says, well, we had an old club there in the Raggy. All it was an old torn billiard table. And that was all, and a fire. We paid £3 a week to get a heat in the winter time. They don't know they were closing. I mean, they talk about poverty, they don't know what poverty is. But we had a better time. We had freedom to play in the streets, no queries around. But the kids don't play in the streets now. You don't see them out at Christmas with their toys and that.
I had to get used to that, boiling a kettle on the wee stove and cooking in the wee stove and baking in the wee cooker and washing in this tub with a board, you know, and whatnot. Boiling my nappies in a pail on top of the stove. I always made my husband, and I used to bake. My husband would out at 6 o'clock in the morning in the bank. So on a Monday I used to get up and do my work. I had a huge wash house in the back house, you know, which was great, with 2 deep sinks, and had an Acme ringer between it, you know, and there was a big gas boiler and a pulley. So washing was no, you know, I could wash any time. It never inconvenienced anybody. So Monday morning, I used to soak my white clothes on a Sunday night in one of the sinks, put them through the wringer, put them in the boiler, and then wash, you know, my other clothes. That was Monday. Tuesday I used to get up and do a baking. Whatever, you know, scones, a few cakes, emperor biscuits, something like that. And then I did another baking on a Friday afternoon. And after a while, Christina, my second daughter, used to help me. Used to make a big Madeira cake, that's what my husband liked, and cover it with icing and then coconut. And I made shortbread and I made an apple pie. I made different things. I used to try everything, eclairs, meringues, all that kind of thing.
Day to day, your mother went out and bought this stuff to do that day, because she didn't have the money to do it, but she just bought the stuff.
So like your coal, if you had enough for one fire, or that kind of thing?
Well, you didn't go and... I sometimes see them coming from the supermarket bags and
Two
bags.
trolleys.
The mother went with the basket and she didn't come back with much, just enough to do us for the day.
I bet you there wasn't a lot of waste thrown out stuff.
Oh, no.
Because I was speaking to Flora and she talked about how you would make things last. You would make a soup,
I was
you'd have
surprised,
a roast, you'd have a something else.
Even during the war, I mean, I was away during the war, but the people were rationed, but they made good out of rations. Similarly, some of the women says they were better fed with ration eggs or powdered eggs and things like that. They experimented and they done all right with the few things they had. Man. Oh, my father, he was a gaffer, and then he went back to the moulding again because there was that many people going up for jobs. He preferred going and working as a moulder. But my brothers all worked in there. I hated it. Oh, I knew when my mother showed up where I was going. So I joined the army to get it. You're coming back like miners. I mean, there's no canteen in these days. And my father was out at 6, my father and brothers was out at 6 in the morning. I didn't go out to 8 o'clock. I worked in the dressing shop. The pipes come up, they get clean. And sometimes you couldn't see your neighbour for the dust. There was a guy put a big chimney sweep through the thing where you were standing staining pipes, sleeves rolled up and open there. Knew I can't stand the cold. Maybe it was out in the Far East that caused that. But anyway, my mother made up pieces. She'd make a lot of breakfast piece for my father and my brothers, and then a dinner pieces. And they were working in muck and that. Their faces were black as miners. And yet, when they took their dinners, they were not a place to wash their hands. Wash your hands nowadays.
Just eat your piece.
And sometimes there was only a certain amount of things you could put in a piece. Cheese, corn mutton. It was cheap in the days. Corn mutton was a cheap thing. Maybe spam, I think spam. But you had to mix all them every day. So if you had cheese and you wanted to melt it, what they done was the shovel or shoveling the sawn on, you put your piece in the shovel and put it in the fire, underneath the fire, to melt the cheese. The breakfast piece, I hadn't a breakfast, I just had a lunch piece. Lunch, and it was lunch in the days. You took all pieces, and there were no canteens, and Mother was making, she put 2 hours making pieces up for us going to the foundry in the morning. She'd make them up at night at 4.
Now I can travel anywhere, and it's great. You know, a day out, they never appealed to me, or, you know, getting away somewhere, if the bus, the train, or whatever. And the first time I was ever in a car, I was 18, and that's when I left Nairn to go to work in London, and a Rolls Royce met me at the station to take me to where I was going to work. And I'd ask him to stop because I was going to be sick in the car. It's funny how some things stick in your mind, you know. And then that's them all in Nairn on holiday.
Just a lovely photograph.
And Catherine Olavona costume my mother knitted, a knitted costume. And when they used to get in the water, you know, the costume used to poke. They still talk about that, you know. But they all had them at one time. But by this time, I think Margaret and Christina had managed to get bought costumes, you know.